I love it. It is a great question, and I do love it because I'm Italian. I got a funny joke before we start this. Hand gesture, right? People talk, the joke about Italians is that we all talk with our hands, and then when I do this in front of people, I always say we all talk with our hands, and I'm gesturing a lot, right? And then I tell people, but I'm only half Italian, so I just talk with my right hand because my mom's German, you know, and people quickly do the math and they go, oh, ha, ha. Some think it's funnier than others. But back to this idea of nonverbal communication, you're supposed to be using your hand gestures to reinforce what you're saying verbally, right? So an easy example of this, if I say something like, well, don't forget now we're probing to the 5th level, and I hold up 3 fingers, that's a huge disconnect. You know, you're going to think I'm lost, right? And I am if I do that. Probe to the 5th level, everybody. So whatever you do with your hands is supposed to be reinforcing what you said. Another way to do this is something called, in the presentation business, we call it accents. So certain words in my script would be words that I want to, watch me now, punctuate. See what I just did? There was a little pause, and I say punctuate with my fist, just like this. It doesn't have to be my fist. It could have, it's probably not this. This is accusatory. They say, you know, tuck. That's the old Bill Clinton trick, is you tuck your finger in, you even tuck your thumb in, Bill Clinton, you know, like this. So the fist or the open fist, you know, I could do a double pump, punctuate, you see? And it accents the word that I'm trying to use. You can do it with a head tilt, you know? I just need a little accent. You see what I did with my head? Accent. And everybody's got their own style. Another trick I use is eyebrows, right? As a nonverbal. Eyebrows are a fantastic way to open up your face. And I learned this because most men aren't really good with their nonverbals. Men are hard to read, and they're getting harder to read. Young men are particularly hard to read these days, a lot of them. And so when you open up your eyebrows, it like opens up your entire expression. And I kind of supported that just now with my hands, watch. I mean, it still works if I just raise my eyebrows, watch. But if I actually, you know, and I could do this with my shoulders, there's a little bit of theater in it, you know, and it's not a bad thing. If you're trying to help people read you, it's a good idea not to hide your cards. It's a good idea not to hide those signals. And I think that's what using the hands is about. Now, the question, Mary, said, you know, well, can you gesture too much with your hands? And it's absolutely true. You know, people with restless leg syndrome, you know, when their leg always doing this while they're sitting down, you know, their knee is always bouncing up and down, nervous leg or restless leg, whatever it's called. They always talk about the leg as if no other part of the anatomy can be restless, but you could have restless hand syndrome too. I know people that talk, you know, they're using their hands all the time. And I know a lot of speakers who use the same body motions all the time. They make me crazy, you know, stop doing this. You know, we got tired of you doing this in the first 5 minutes. So the anecdote or the antidote to this is to good presentation training, or even just turn on your own camera phone, and record yourself and just check out your tics. You know, are you using words that you shouldn't be using too often? Are you using gestures too often and they're starting to bug? And you just make decisions, start pruning. You know, you become a gardener and you start pruning. I hope that helps.
Right, and great suggestions. I have another question from Kevin. How do you know the right questions to ask next, and when to move on to the next topic?
I missed the first part. How to move on to the next topic? How to wrap up? Is that the idea?
How do you know the right questions to ask?